This is Eric and Gord. What if we're right? Listen to the world changing.
Ready?
Yep.
Hi there. Happy Tuesday. It is June the 9th, 2020, and I'm Eric talking at you once again from Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada, where every time you make an absolute statement to me, I'm absolutely going to wait for it to bite you in the ass.
And as you should.
Absolutely don't do that. Absolute statements don't work for me. Hi, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for telling your friends. Numbers are looking good. We even made a couple of charts this week. So thank you guys for that. Woohoo. Like 1,500th and 600. We were 600 and something on May 31st or 29th or something. Anyway, I don't care about the numbers. The fact that we're on a chart means you guys are awesome.
I mean, somebody's listening and they like us.
I got no shout outs for anybody today. Not shouting out to anybody. I'm shouting out to the people at Zenabis, the cannabis company based out of Surrey.
Okay.
Shout out to Zenabis Global.
Way to go, Zenabis.
Who makes they produce cannabis and cannabis derived products. And I bought some stock in their company, and it did okay today.
Very nice.
So thank you, Zenabis.
I want to do a quick shout out to Milton, the town of Milton,
You did
the
that
whole town.
yesterday.
No, I don't care. I'm going to keep promoting them because they're helping me, so I'm helping them. Thank you, Milton. That's all you get.
I think it's thank you website. Yeah, thanks, Milton. That's cool. I hope the rest of Ontario gets on board. You can get on board by checking out gourdshop.com. And if you were to go to ericandgord.live and order yourself an Eric and Gord What If We're Right t-shirt, Gord will give you half price off all your first sharpenings.
Yeah, I will.
That's a not forever thing or something stupid. And it's not, don't bring in your whole fucking platoons knives. You know what I mean.
I know how many knives the average person has, so yeah, no.
I have none. All mine are plastic, so.
Oh, heartbreaking.
Oh,
I
no.
can still sharpen those.
Not necessary. They are used just once and destroy. I never have dishes.
That is amazing.
Paper plates and plastic utensils. My kitchen's always spotless.
My hot plate is beautiful.
I got a sick toaster oven. I don't know where you guys want to start today. But I had.
Where do you want to go?
I had all day yesterday to think, and that's never a good thing.
Uh-oh.
But I was watching videos of the demonstrations, to put it nicely, in the U.S.
Yeah.
And I was watching these cops grabbing people and arresting them. Some of them had masks. Most of them had no gloves. And that was the thing that really caught my eye. None of the cops had gloves. But they were grabbing people by the dozens and arresting them and throwing them onto school buses.
Yes.
In big groups.
Yep. The mass arrests. Yeah.
So the people who were driving around handing out fines to enforce social distancing 2 weeks ago are now blatantly violating all the protocols, grabbing people with their bare hands, and then forcing them into a small group in a bus.
Yep.
It made me think, why? Well, why would they do that? Why would they violate the protocols? And then it made me think, all the politicians telling us what to do, they're not losing any money. They're not staying home. The doctors on TV are getting paid to be on TV. They're not staying home. Their lives aren't affected whatsoever. And I was just looking, the cops aren't affected.
Nope.
And I went, wait a minute. What is the one thing that governments need above all else to be effective? They need control.
Absolutely.
Now, why? Sorry, I lost where I was going with this. But
I watched that leave your head, by the way.
Why were they more concerned at the beginning? Do you remember when COVID first started, the panic over inmates in prison?
Yep.
But no panic over care homes.
None at all.
Is that because prisons make money and care homes cost money?
That's exactly right.
And
free labor from prisons.
They were losing control. Governments were losing control from Trumpy's fucking border wall to his impeachment hearing to all the bullshit. He was losing control. Like, why were governments around the world can't agree on fucking anything from nuclear bombs to fucking gas emissions. With 30 years, we've been fighting over greenhouse gases. We can't agree on that. But COVID, every country in the world agreed in a week?
Except for Brazil. Yep.
Why? Is it because it was never fucking about COVID? Because here's the narrative through the whole thing. It's the government saying, if you don't do exactly what we say, you and your family will die. Mm-hmm. If you don't stay far enough away from each other to communicate properly, you and your family will die. Yep. And if you don't listen to our doctor, the American one, or each province had one, if you don't listen to this doctor and do everything we say, this will go on forever and ever.
Yep.
It was never about COVID. It was never about keeping us safe. It was about control, getting back control. And then I realized it went perfectly into this fucking George Floyd thing. There's been 100 of these shootings. Fuck, Gord, go back and listen to our show. We got one of these every couple of days. Where was the outrage? It's because COVID was ending. People were going to the beaches. They were losing control. Now this is the biggest story in the world. Out of 100 fucking black people being shot, not minimizing any single one of them, why is this one so big? Why is every story now in the news? It's only ever one story, and it's the biggest fucking story around the world. It was the pipeline protests, and then it was COVID. Now it's George Floyd. And there's going to be another one that's the biggest story ever. And we're listening to these fucking guys just lie. It's nothing to do with us. Look at all these protests going on. In theory, all those people should have COVID within 2 weeks, right? So 2 weeks from now,
they are saying that there will be a massive outbreak in 2 weeks. That's
So if there's no massive outbreak in 2 weeks, which, by the way, the incubation period is 3 to 7 days, so the 2 week number is bullshit anyway. What do we do? What do we say when there is no massive outbreak in 2 weeks? What do they have to hold on to?
They were wrong with the same numbers they've been using.
They were wrong. They've been wrong this whole time, but it doesn't matter because it's not about COVID. That's why they don't care about telling us the age and the fact that everyone is 79 fucking years old and has a pre-existing condition. They don't bother mentioning that because it's not about us. It's just about control and getting us back under control. It's fucking so aggravating. And I can't believe it took me this long to figure it out. But I knew something's been fucking rotten since day one. And now I get it. If you don't do everything that we're telling you, you and your family will die. And
no matter how contradicting it is.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't matter.
And meanwhile, we don't have to do it. We're going to go about our lives. But we are going to take away your business, make you heavily reliant on government handouts.
Yeah.
And if you go back to your business, you and your family will die.
Yeah. And you will be killing others by doing so.
And
that's the other great lie.
scared everybody into the position we're in now. And by the way, not for nothing, but when COVID first started, I said the first thing you're going to see is a massive amount of property crime in the near future. And we've had 11 days of riots and people looting. So, gee. Just
that one.
Kind of mentioned there's going to be a lot of break-ins within a couple of months. Not exactly what I predicted, but not far off.
Not far off, though.
I said there was going to be property crime, and there was much, and it's still going on. And there's going to be no end to it, and I hope there isn't, because this has nothing to do with George Floyd, and it has nothing to do with injustice. It's just control.
Yep. Yeah, you know what? I absolutely say you're bang on.
It was your experiment, but it wasn't. I don't think this was a test for something coming. I think this was just.
It was a test for control.
Get the leashes back on the people, and
yes, that's what I missed when I had my theory about it.
They weren't. Trudeau's never going to look like a hero. Trump's never going to look like a hero, but now they're in control again. When
are you kidding me? Trudeau is looking like a fucking massive hero right now because of his 21-second silence.
At Christmas time, they were both meatheads.
Yep.
And now they couldn't control anything. Least of all, journalism.
Yeah.
They've managed to completely rein that in. And now they both have control over their respective countries. Trump has more control because he's controlling whether or not the border opens. So he kicks our ass. We won the NAFTA negotiations, and he took that shit right back.
Good luck trading without getting through the border.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And now we can't get our Canadian goods.
Yeah. Which is really funny. We can't get our Canadian goods from Mexico.
It's yeah, right. Ladies and gentlemen, don't do it. Go to work. Open your business. What are they going to do? Don't. My whole thing is get rid of politicians, and these fuckers got scared.
Yeah.
They got
said,
scared.
We'll lock everybody down. Maybe they thought that if we were on lockdown, we could do the podcast, not understanding how they work.
Well,
just made our lives easier.
I wouldn't put that past them. But ladies and gentlemen, go to work. Go to the beach. First of all, don't go to the beach. We got a social distance. Who the fuck sits closer than 6 feet with anybody on the beach? You always make sure you're 6 feet away from the people next to you.
Yeah.
So why can't we go to the beach? What the fuck? Mm-hmm. When they're saying that heat and sunlight probably killed this thing, look at what happened at spring break. Yeah. How many of those kids died? How many got sick and died?
None.
How are we still falling for this fucking lie? All those kids should be dead by rights. If you listen to everything on the news, all those kids should be dead. All these rioters should be getting the coronavirus and dying. But nobody is. Nobody's getting it.
No.
It's in Canada. 200,000 people have it or whatever. Do you know one? Nope. Nobody does. Nobody knows one. No one I can talk to from coast to coast actually knows somebody who has this fucking thing.
Nope.
There
was a guy on social media that was called out for being, as an example, saying, I lost 7 family members of COVID. Right. Yeah, he did lose 7 family members. It was to a fucking car crash.
Were they driving a Chevy COVID?
It didn't mention the vehicle, but
the
guy's been going around
this year.
The guy's been going around social media sites, and he's been one of these guys commenting on shit. And yeah, it was just fucking hilarious, and he got called out for it. I caught that like about 3 days ago. Forgot to mention.
There's a whole bunch of examples of that. You and I pointed out the Ontario or Quebec. Yeah, I think it was the Quebec nursing home that had 31 deaths in one weekend.
Yeah,
5 of them were COVID related.
But count all 35 as COVID.
But that's what they do.
Important.
That's how they keep you in. They go, there was another death this weekend, over 60. That's all they say. A person over 60. They don't say he was 89 years old and had fucking angina.
Yeah.
They just say over 60. And he died. He fucking broke a hip falling out of his chair and had a heart attack. They don't tell you that.
No. Just another death. Another death.
This could not be a better example of what I'm trying to rally against when it comes to our government.
Mm-hmm.
It was all fun and games with fucking up the pot, and like I